The ball I wanted to develop was something that Adidas have created. So what I did was buying their top balls, putting the knife in and then destroying it. Then I started to understand the structure and how they built the ball. But freestylers is one of the hardest people to please. If I can't use the product myself on stage when I compete, not when I perform, because then you can do it, then I wouldn't sell it.
You have on your arm a tattoo of freestyle.
Yes.
You're still happy with it?
Still very happy. This is my life, and even though it ends today and I'm gonna do something completely different tomorrow, it's still been such a big part of who I am.
Hi, my name is Bailey de Recht and you're listening to the FRØST podcast. In this season, we're going worldwide. Every episode, an international guest will share their freestyle journey with you. Today, we're making it around the world with Tobias Becs. Was that the right pronunciation?
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, it was.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here. Yeah, owner of 4FREESTYLE. You've been freestyling for how many years right now?
Good question. Since 2006, so 15, 16 years.
15, 16 years, so that's a lot of freestyle experience right there. And yeah, like I said, it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me. It's so great to be here at SuperBall, meeting up with all the freestylers, and yeah, good to see the community coming together and also doing these kind of talks and podcasts. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a topic that I would like to address today, because getting freestylers together, I feel like that's what you're doing like daily, at a daily base, because you own 4FREESTYLE, and I'm very much interested in how it came about, how it started, what your thoughts were on that, and how it's kind of developed. That's a good lower combo right
Good
there
vibes.
in the back, I think.
Yeah.
That's the vibes. I'm sorry if you're not here, but we're experiencing it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, would you like to tell about how the journey started there?
Yeah, I'll start and try to make it short, but you know, I started as many others playing football, wanted to be a better football player, thought football tricks was much more fun, and then I got introduced into the freestyle scene.
Yeah.
And early on, I realized that there was, you know, a lot of things that could improve in the community,
Yeah.
and also related to gear, because I remember the frustration of, you know, buying new shoes and like, oh, these are really good, and I've, you know, used them now for 1 month or
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, now they feel good.
Yeah.
But then Adidas or Nike change up the models, you couldn't get that one, change up the balls, and nobody really developed any gear for freestyle football.
So you felt like there was missing something.
Yes.
And how did you come up with the idea to, okay, I'm gonna do it myself?
It happened actually because I did a lot of performances, and I always kind of had that entrepreneurial mindset. And
Yeah.
when I was younger, I even was knitting, like, what do you call it? Not a hat, but something you have around here. I don't.
Yeah. Okay, a band.
Yeah, band.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my mother is doing some knitting, and
Oh,
she
nice.
teach me, and I was selling it at school.
Oh, sick.
And then I was introduced into footballs, and footballs with elastic like a string
Yeah.
to sell to kids at football cups.
Wow, really?
And I realized, yeah, how much they were selling when I was freestyling first, then going over to their place where they were selling
Yeah.
it, signing autographs, and they were selling so well.
Wow.
That made me realize that this is a good way for us to potentially earn money to then do the Norwegian championships, other competitions and events.
So you started with the ball and you knit the cord
Oh,
onto
no,
it?
I
Okay,
didn't. No,
okay.
now I'm mixing up too much stuff. But
No
no, it
problem.
started when I was in school. I was knitting this kind
The
of
band, yeah,
band
yeah.
to just earn money. And
Yeah.
so that was more just an example of being an
But
entrepreneur.
Wait, that could be a good one as well, like
Yeah,
knitting the cord to the
that
ball.
could be a good one. Maybe that's the next thing you see on the website. No, but and then I realized that okay, there's some money here, because the people watching me freestyle, they want to buy stuff that I've used or can approve in a way.
Yeah.
And because we had problem getting sponsors for the Norwegian Championship, stuff like that, I was thinking maybe I could sell some stuff, earn more money, then we can not be that or rely that much on sponsors.
Yeah.
That's how I started to then research how to create your own ball, shoes, clothing.
But how do you start with something like that? Because
Today it's actually really easy. You know, you can go on Alibaba, other websites, get your logo printed, no problem. But back then, 15,
Wow.
16 years ago,
How
guys.
did you do that? No internet? Was it? Yeah, internet.
It was internet,
Just
but it
started.
was really hard. I did some research. We did have Google, yes, but it was through the guys that I met at that football cup, and they said
Yeah.
we have some contacts in Pakistan. They can create some balls if you can send a design. And I designed the first ball in paint, if you remember paint.
Wow, yeah.
And that's how it started. And I kind of gave them some instructions that I want better grip, and that's how eventually the grip ball got developed. But in the beginning, it was a really, shitty ball.
Yeah.
Not good. I used all my savings for.
Were you satisfied with that? Were you happy that you had created the ball, or were you looking at the points of improvement?
I was happy that I had created a ball, but already then, and I'm also really picky, I realized that this is not a perfect ball.
No.
But I still used it for my performances because I realized then I will sell even better.
Okay.
But I really got I'm not a seller. I'm the worst seller ever. The way I sell is through either developing such a good product that it sells itself,
Yeah.
or through branding. But marketing or direct sales,
No.
I'm not good.
No, you're too sociable maybe for that. You mean? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
And
too
also,
friendly.
because and then I felt selling these balls feels like a scam because this is not the ball that I
Yeah.
really want to use myself.
Yeah. But how did you do that? Because you had created a ball that, okay, you knew the quality is not that perfect, but you still sold it, or you kept
Yeah.
it for yourself?
I did sell the first version.
Yeah.
Then we produced another one I was not happy with. And I still have some of the balls left. I decided we couldn't sell it. I did try to sell a few, but then I got too, I felt too bad. I
Yeah,
couldn't
see.
do it. And I realized then that if I can't use the product myself on stage when I compete, not when I perform, because then you can do it, then I wouldn't sell it.
Okay, so that's kind of the point you want to reach if you develop a new product. Okay, you're visualizing, would I wear this or would I use this ball on stage?
Yes, because I don't want to lie. I don't want people to think that, this is a scam. I use this ball now, but then when I get back home or on stage, I use something else because I know that, it's transparency. When people will eventually realize that and see that, and then I feel like I'm fake or I'm not selling the product that I'm actually using myself.
Yeah. And so what were the points of improvement, for example, with that first ball you just mentioned? What really needed to be improved?
It took a long time, and we still started. Eventually I developed a ball that I was really happy with, but I also was very open about that this is not the type of ball I'm using. The grip ball is not my type of ball. Adidas makes better ball, I want to use that one. So not until we launched the control ball, which is after the style ball, we have many types of balls. Many years, that's when I started to use the ball, and the same was for the shoes as well.
And what was the reason that type of ball took some time to be developed? Was that just because you didn't have the right manufacturer, or?
Yeah, many things. It was the right manufacturer. We didn't have that one, and the people or the manufacturers in China are not that skilled at these types of balls. And the ball I wanted to develop was something that Adidas have created, and they have a patent, and it was really hard to figure out how they created it.
Yeah.
So what I did for not many years, but I did many times, was buying their top balls, putting the knife in, and then destroying it. And I know a lot of people here would not like to hear me say that, but then I started to understand the structure and how they built the ball.
Whoa.
And that also made me then started working on this special blather that we made, so the balls would still bounce well even though there's less air, and to give it that kind of soft, good feel and touch. And today I'm still not happy with the ball, but I'm happy, and I feel like for me this is one of the best balls, but I'm always looking into ways where you can improve the products.
And so, okay, wow, so even the balls that are available now on the website, you still see points of improvement there. How could they be improved in your opinion, for example? And
in many ways, like for example the control ball, and I know a lot of people think that I'm actually really happy with the control ball version 3.
Yeah,
some people think it's a bit too slippery, so I'm also a bit like you think it's.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's too slippery, but I see what you mean, because I used a Tajikara ball and I felt that was too grippy for me, so I couldn't, for example, do spins on my shoulder, for example, anymore, because it just stopped spinning.
That's my problem with no touch and the grip ball as well. It's too much grip, but then again, if it's too slippery, then it's
if you're doing half around the world, for example, then it slips so easily. And then is it difficult to make a combination of it? Because me and Guido, for example, from the Netherlands have been talking about it. Can't it just be a mixture between, let's say, the Tachikara, and or is it too easily thought?
Yeah, I wish it was that simple, and then I would do it, and there's so many aspects of it. So and also then you have to also take into consideration the branding and the way you're gonna present it, and also just finding the fabrics and materials is not always that easy. And there are other brands that create great balls, and there's a wide variety. But freestylers is one of the hardest people to please because we have so many different styles. And like I always say, even people training here can have the same model of ball, but if you give me then your ball and it's the same, and I try that one, I might not prefer or like it because you know, I like mine that I've used, that has been used for this long, you know, and that feeling, you know.
So many small details that you have to take into consideration, but you managed to do it well, I think, because you have now a lot of balls that please different types of styles.
Thank you, but I'm definitely not happy.
No, you're satisfied, I think, right? Or
yeah, I feel like we got to a point where we have quality gear, and I'm really happy with the quality of what we present, but I'm not happy in regards of, oh, let's stop. Like, there's so many other aspects.
Of course, but if you take a look around you, I see, here, right behind us, there's someone freestyling with the 4FREESTYLE ball. What feeling does that give you?
Like when that first happened, and the first time I saw people using it, especially the control ball, or it was actually bigger when we launched the shoes because nobody had launched shoes for freestyle before. That was like that felt so good. And but again, still, because I'm always, you know, I see the improvements, and I'm always one step kind of ahead. So I'm thinking of I'm always working on the next product. So I'm like realizing, oh, maybe he, you know, it should be more like that, or he doesn't know that that's not as good. And so I'm never happy, but I'm becoming better at enjoying it. But before it was always just like, I'm just waiting for people to complain. But I also want that because I want the feedback, and I also want people to then kind of let me know that you're correct, this should be improved, this needs to be better.
Wow, I think that's the right attitude. And also what I really like is that you just cut open the Adidas mesh balls in order to see the layers. Wow, that's just real dedication. Let's just take a step back and also think about or talk about your own freestyle journey, because we're now focusing on the 4FREESTYLE, the brand. And
too much commercial.
No, definitely not, because that's super interesting, and I think that's such a big part of your life as well, right? Because how much time, for example, do you spend on 4FREESTYLE a day? Or
a lot more than I train.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's my dad, and now also off pitch and also street football center. It's a lot of time. So, but my focus before was 100% being an athlete, being a freestyler, and you know, trying to be the best as I could. And that a lot of stuff have changed since then. So I still enjoy and I love freestyle so much. But before I was more training, putting in the hours. You know, like 2 or 3 sessions a day. Every session was like 1.5 to 3 hours. A lot of work, but now I use training more for meditation and more of a break in my everyday of developing for freestyle and off pitch and other things around the sport.
So freestyle's become more of a side thing in terms of practicing it. But it's still every day.
It's still something I look forward to and enjoy, and something I need in my life pretty much every day. Because it gives me a lot of value in just being active, exploring new tricks, and from just training a lot of lowers to now training a lot of more acrobatics and seeing other aspects of freestyle. So I still spend a lot of time training and looking at other freestylers and the development.
Yeah, definitely. And I wish this remains the same, because you have on your arm a tattoo of freestyle.
Yes.
You're still happy with it?
Still very happy. And I realized, you know, I did think about it for 1 year before I took it, and I was like, should I not? What if I quit today, tomorrow? But then I also realized that freestyle have given me so much value in regards of meeting so many nice people. You know, this is my life, and even though it ends today and I'm gonna do something completely different tomorrow, it's still been such a big part of who I am and teach me so much throughout, and made me the person I am today, that I'm so proud of having this on my arm.
So even though it would stop from having an impact on you from this day on, it has made you the person that you are right now.
Definitely.
And
yeah.
how, yeah, you are, let's say, how can I put it? Freestyle, you said it has brought you so much, and what are the things that it has brought you, and what has the impact been?
One thing that I realized that, you know, when you go to school and when you're young, you go into these football teams and trainings, and from you're very, very small, you are getting told what to do at all the time. Yeah. So from you wake up in the morning until the evening, you have a schedule for you.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a personal, like people just telling you what to do. So you never have to think yourself. Not until I realized or found freestyle, I started to really think for myself, and I realized also that I need to schedule my own training. If I want to be the best as I can, I need to train today. Nobody's going to tell me that you need to train today, tomorrow. And also just from, you know, then getting to travel, not having other people buying the tickets for you, telling you what hotel you're staying at. You actually have to do these things yourself, organize everything. Then you realize that I'm actually the boss of my own life. Yeah. And that's something that freestyle have taught me, and also giving me courage to dare to, you know, try out new things, because I also realized that failing is not that bad actually. It's a good thing.
Wow, so it has made you so much more independent, you would say?
Yeah, much more.
Is it also true that you learned your English through...
Yes. I didn't care about language or school at all. So bad at school, and if you ask my teachers, they would be surprised of me speaking English at all. Yeah. But then I was forced to it, and first time I went to Poland to meet the freestylers there, I realized that they were worse than me in English, which actually gave me a little bit of confidence, like shit, I can actually speak pretty good English. Yeah. And then I started to understand that if I am gonna travel around and people are gonna understand me, I need to learn different languages, because you can't just walk around point all the time.
No, that's definitely true, that's definitely true. So, in terms of independency, it has brought you a lot in terms of languages, people that you meet. So for me also, like, it has given me a lot of self-confidence. So when I started, I was really shy and I prefer being on the background. Do you recognize that from yourself? And do you now feel more comfortable in groups and with people around you? Or?
Yeah, and we spoke about this off podcast as well. Like, I had to go home because now we're in SuperBall. I was here for a couple of days. I had to go home for an event. Yeah. And standing on stage doing freestyle, not a problem. But then being a speaker and talking about a theme that you don't really know too much about, that's a bit scary. Yes. But because I did a performance and did some freestyle in the very beginning, that gave me confidence, because then people were looking at me and I feel good because I'm showing something that I'm good at. And freestyle definitely gave me a lot of confidence in these kind of situations. I was actually, when I was younger, quite, I was looked at as a talent and I had a lot of confidence. But then during my youth years, when you start to get a bit older and understand how things work, suddenly I realized I wasn't the best at the football team anymore. One of the girls I was kind of dating were kind of breaking up with me, and suddenly I got some
difficult moments.
Difficult moments, and that definitely made me more humble and understanding that everything is not just gonna run smooth for you your whole life. But then freestyle again picked that up and gave me more confidence again. Yeah. But I think it's good to have that balance, to be a bit humble and understand that people come from different perspectives and look at things differently. Yeah. But also having the confidence in yourself and what you believe.
Yeah. Nice. And talking about setbacks, have there been any moments in your freestyle career or in your 4FREESTYLE process where you were like, oh, nah, man, I'm done with this? Or
yeah, a lot of, not so much in regards of freestyle. Even though like I feel like when I've got a lot of second places, third places, and you're kind of like,
you're sick of it then?
Yeah, you get sick of it and you feel like, fuck, okay, I'm never going to be winning, or I'm never going to do well. But that's not been the worst thing, because you're already doing pretty well, and my focus has actually never been doing that well in competitions. It's more just improving my game. Yeah. But when it comes to 4FREESTYLE, I've had a lot of hard times that I don't really share because it's not natural, but that's in regards of boring things when it comes to taxes, when you import stuff, paying a lot more than you have, people suing you for this and that.
Yeah, well, people see the good image, you have your own 4FREESTYLE shop here, you produce the balls, the shoes, but they also see a lot of, or there are also a lot of things that the people don't see, right?
Yeah.
Is it sometimes frustrating for you that we don't understand what goes into it, or?
Sometimes not in regards of these kind of like, oh, we have to pay more for this, or somebody's suing us, or doing these kind of things are fine, but it's more in regards of, it seems sometimes so simple to like, why can't you change that with a shoe or with a ball? It's just doing that, and then yeah, kind of, but it's kind of saying just why don't you just do an extra revolution and then you land P80 or 4 revolution.
Yeah.
It's not as simple.
No.
Even though it seems like, and that's, I wish I could show more people how it is and how hard it can be, and also especially with such a small community, because we're not just, you know, we can't just expand and to a broader market. We actually have to expand the sport to be able to sell more, to then get more money, to then develop more gear.
Yeah. And what are ways that could help us grow the sport? Have you thought about this, and what are your?
I think that's just a long-term game, and I think podcasts like this and the off-pitch podcast, people having freestyle clinics, us opening up and sharing much more, and especially also just using the power we have of being so related to football.
Yeah.
But it's a long-term thing.
Do you think that's an advantage, or do you see it as a disadvantage? Because on the one hand, of course, there's directly a link. If you play soccer or football, you will most likely also like to see freestyle, but on the other hand, it could also be a disadvantage because people have difficulty making.
But to be honest, I don't think it doesn't help at all to focus on the negative sides. So it's only about the positive sides, and the positive thing, because if you focus on the negative sides and like, oh, they might, you know, think that freestyle is a part of football, or that we can never grow as big, but football is really big, and there's a lot of then potential people that can be a freestyler. It's better to focus on that, you know, put the energy in that.
I agree. For example, I get a lot of shows and clinics, and most freestylers, I think that have their own company, get the most shows and clinics at soccer clubs.
Of course,
you know,
that's how we can actually make a living.
Yeah, because the people want to see it, and the people want to learn it. So you see it as an advantage, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And do you think freestyle can also grow to a level, for example, where football and soccer is, or?
I do think so, like seeing breakdance now being a part of the Olympics, stuff like that. Not that we actually have to be a part of the Olympics, even though I know that some people are working for that. It's also a sign that, you know, breakdance was, you know, growing a lot, then it kind of stagnated. Same with freestyle. When I was in the, you know, world tour or standing on stage on Red Bull Street Style in Lecce, I felt like a king. Such a cool stage, and you are like, wow, this sport's gonna be big. And then it suddenly drops, goes up and down, but it's, you know, again, the long-term path. And I do think, you know, it's going to take a lot of time, but I do definitely think that freestyle football is going to be even more professional and even bigger. We're only in the early stages, but it's just like when you look at the stock market, it doesn't go straight, it goes up and down.
Yeah, ask Bas, he's into some crypto.
Yes, okay. I'm not, but I just know that it goes up and down.
Yeah, definitely. And for him it's going down now, but never mind. But yeah, what about, like, because we freestylers are quite weird sometimes, you know, and we train a lot. We're with our ball together for many hours of the day. Do you think that, like, soccer is so common and almost everyone does it? Could freestyle also become big in that term? You know what I mean? Or
we do have a lot of, you know, individual sports that you can train for yourself.
Yeah.
And that is globally really big, and, you know, like you know, running, you know, these kind of things that you're only, so as long as we can keep it social.
Yeah.
For some people, and including myself, I also do enjoy that, you know, training alone, you know, doing it for myself part, but to make it grow bigger, we also need to show them the social aspect, just like we see around here, people training in circles, meeting each other. It's a social thing as well, and that's how we can make it grow further.
I think that's also one of my motivations to keep on training is, you know, because the friends that you have made, that's such a
and
motivation.
Also just like, what's the point of making a trick and then just having it for yourself? You want to share it with others. Either show it live, share it on Instagram, at the off-pitch app.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before, because we had also an interview on Tobias' channel, created the off-pitch app, and like you said, you can share all your videos there, and you can dive deeper into the analytics of a training session of yourself, but also of other freestylers, so it's definitely worth checking out. Let's wrap it up. But before we do that, do you have any goals for yourself and for freestyle that you want to pursue in the coming weeks, months, years?
For like for freestyle football?
Whatever.
Yeah, like in the long term, I definitely just want to help grow the community, because I want more people to enjoy and experience freestyle as I've done.
Yeah.
But when it comes to small things, right now I'm working on some new handstand moves always.
Nice.
So, but I'm getting more and more into freestyle again. I had a hard period now in the winter with a lot of stress. I wasn't able to train that much,
Okay.
but it feels just really good now to get back into, you know, and focusing on that, these small things like landing that combo, that trick, and that's something that gives me joy every day. But on the broader side, I'm still working a lot, just trying to develop the freestyle football scene locally in Norway due to Corona, but now hopefully also more again globally with off-pitch app and stuff like that.
Nice, so cool. And do you have any last words for freestylers or other people that are watching right now and that look up to you? Because including me, like, I think it's super inspirational what you're doing.
Thank
and
you.
The work that you are putting in for the scene, it's insane. And seeing, yeah, I just can't even put it into words, but the shoes, the balls, and also realizing how much work goes into that and all the problems that you have to overcome throughout the process. So much respect for that.
Thank you.
If someone is watching and they've just heard how difficult it can be to produce such a product and they're still willing to put in the work,
Yeah.
like, what advice would you have, or how can we as freestylers help grow the scene?
I think just learning also from you, that from the podcast we did together now just before this,
Yeah.
And that's something I need to work on, and I will after talking to you, and I do this every day as well in my work and everything. That's my biggest problem, is enjoying the moment, because I really do enjoy the ride of creating something. I'm not that focused on the end goal, even though that's a motivation. I really enjoy like getting up early, grinding, doing the things, training, but I'm not always that good at being in the moment. And also just during your training, take your time, warm up properly, you know, do your tricks, and also just be aware and happy that right now I'm doing something I love, I'm training, I'm having fun, because every session should be somehow fun. Of course, not every time you train is going to be a lot of fun, but try to enjoy the moment much more, and that's something I learned from you that I'm going to bring with me.
Wow, thank you so much. Like I said, I appreciate you for all the work that you do, for the person that you are, and thank you so much for being the guest in this podcast episode.
Thank you for having me.
And we're done. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of this episode. You can always send me a message. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you soon. Bye bye.